Hello and welcome, race fans. Good afternoon from the beautiful Austrian racing facility called Red Bull Ring. Here we are at the beginning of the 2026 campaign in the Renault Clio Cup Bohemia. Again, we are ready for the most exciting cup cars racing that we know in the Central European Zone region, and I believe this will be another season of great battles on track between the experienced front runners and some young guns in the championship. My name is JTS Racing and I'm more than happy to provide you with another season of great racing here in Clio Cup Bohemia. As you can see, the racing grid or the starting grid for the first race of the 2026 season is being already set, and it is also being cleared at the moment, which means we are only moments away from the formation lap ahead of the first race of the 2026 campaign. In the qualifying, once again, it was Tomáš Pekař who set the fastest lap and took the pole position for the first race. Tomáš Pekař in P1 on the grid with his time 1:49.7 in qualifying. It was only a small gap between the pole sitter Tomáš Pekař and his great rival from Poland, Bartlomiej Mirecki, starting from the second place with his time 1:49.8. So it was only 1/10 of a second between the pole sitter from the Czech Republic and Bartlomiej Mirecki, the Polish star, in the second place. In the second row, it will be again a lot about Polish guys, because we do have Julian Smiechowski in third place and Oskar Marszalkowski in P4. Just moments ago, you had a chance of seeing the front of the grid. Of course, the orange colors traditionally belongs to Carpek service, to the car of Tomáš Pekař. But as I mentioned, Oskar Marszalkowski, he is there in the new colors of JTS Racing team with his number 26. So Oskar Marszalkowski definitely will be also one to watch in the battle for the championship title in the 2026 season. Of course, Tomáš Pekař is our reigning champion from 2025 season, which was really exciting year of close racing, especially here on Red Bull Ring. I do remember the last year's races here in Austria. It was absolutely breathtaking. It was very hard to follow sometimes, you know, because the race was so exciting, and sometimes you just didn't know what to watch first on the track. And we are just under 1 minute before the start of the formation lap. Let's take another look back into 2025. Tomáš Pekař took the championship title with 242 points to his name. So the gap between him and Bartlomiej Mirecki, who is the last year's runner-up, was only 12 points after the whole season. Julian Smiechowski was there in P3. Nikodem Sobčík was in P4, and Alexander Šperec took the 5th place in the last year's championship standings. So these are our top 5 from the 2025 season. We can see the spectators on the grandstand just above the first corner, which is definitely the most exciting place from which you can watch the races here on Red Bull Ring in Austria. Of course, this is the home of the Austrian Grand Prix, and I'm talking not only about Formula 1 but also about MotoGP. Both main championships, both major championships are taking place on the Austrian soil here in Styria on this beautiful circuit, previously known also as Zeltwerk, then as Österreichring. You can also remember A1 Ring, and nowadays it is the world-famous Red Bull Ring, the circuit owned by the world-famous energy drinks producer. And you can believe me when I say that this racing facility is really breathtaking. You enter the circuit through a beautiful lobby and reception with a lot of Formula 1 cars displayed. Then you walk through the Hall of Legends under the main street, and You can witness a lot of greats of Formula 1 watching you down from the wall. Alain Prost, Michael Schumacher, Emerson Fittipaldi and many others. So definitely this place is worth of visiting if you are a racing fan, and I believe you are. That's the reason why you are joining us live right now, just a moment ago from the first race here on Red Bull Ring, the first race of 2026 campaign. And we are ready and waiting for the start of the first race, because this must be another great battle between the Czech Republic and Poland, mostly between Czechia and Poland for the championship title here in Clio Cup Bohemia. And it will be a hard work for Tomáš Pekař if he wants to be the reigning champion also next year, because the competition is tougher and tougher in Clio Cup Bohemia. Speaking of which, we do have the record-breaking grid. In total, 34 cars in 17 rows for the first race of 2026 campaign here on Red Bull Ring. So the interest in cup racing, the interest in one car maker series is just growing and growing over the years, and it is really, really cool to watch. So the grid is setting up, and as I said, we have to wait for all 34 cars getting ready for the first race. And again, it's a great combination of experienced drivers and some young guns, because this is a great platform for the young drivers making their first step into car racing, also, for example, from Twinkle Cup or from go-karts. So this is a great place where you can learn things, when you can grow up, gain experience, and move on in your career. And on the other hand, we also do have the ever-present drivers like Tomáš Pekař. Green flag is being displayed at the back of the grid. We do have the 5 red lights, and the lights are out, and we are racing for the first time in 2026 season of the Clio Cup Bohemia. It was a good start done by Tomáš Pekař. So the Tomáš Pekař, behind the wheel of his orange Renault Clio Cup car, is leading the way into the first corner. So it's the Czech driver in the first place, but behind him it will be a great battle of JTS Racing team drivers. I believe we do have also Oskar Marszalkowski in the mix, plus there should be also Bartlomiej Mirecki. We do have also double yellow in the first corner according to the live timing, so there might be an accident in the first corner, because the double yellow is being displayed, but no more. Green flag again, so the race is clean. The racetrack is clean, and there is no need for a safety car right now. Tomáš Pekař is trying to defend his position. Behind him, a great battle, wheel to wheel, between the other drivers. So it should be Pekař, Mirecki, Smiechowski, Marszalkowski at the moment. But again, let's wait and see for the main straight here on Red Bull Ring. We will check up on the results. So far it's been a clean race, so big kudos to all the drivers taking part. This is never too easy to have a clean start here in Austria, because the first corner in Spielberg is really tight actually, but fortunately it has a large tarmac runoff area, so in most of the cases you have plenty of space to go if things go wrong for you. For 23 minutes to go, Tomáš Pekař is leading the way on the main straight of Red Bull Ring. Julian Smiechowski in second place behind him, so it's the young Polish driver behind the Czech ever-present in Clio Cup Bohemia, and I believe we are going to watch these battles between Tomáš Pekař and rest of the field for the rest of the season. Pekař in the lead, and we are heading up the hill into the third corner of Red Bull Ring. Good positioning by Pekař. Smiechowski behind him. Bartlomiej Mirecki. He lost 1 place since the start of the race, so he is there in P3. The incident from the first corner, from the first lap, is being under investigation, so apparently there was some kind of accident between some drivers. So maybe also let's wait and see if we have any highlights of that incident from the first corner. But right now the track is green and we are racing under the green flags, so all good. Mirecki in 3rd place ahead of Marszalkowski. Then it is Franka Luka in P5 ahead of Nico West. And then it's another great bunch of cars. As you can see here, great battles in the midfield from 7th to 10th place. A lot of drivers involved in this battle within the top 10 in the race. Filip Zivok in P7, behind him Michał Primožič, Matic Presha and Rafał Paprota. These drivers are racing each other hardly. And here we are again on the main straight. Tomáš Pekař leads the way, but there is almost no gap between him and Smiechowski in 2nd place. Mirecki in P3, Marszalkowski in P4 ahead of Franka Luka. And Matic Presha overtook Michał Primožič last time around, so right now it is Michał Primožič in P9 and Matic Presha in P8 ahead of him. These two Slovenian drivers we know very well actually, also from Twingo Cup. Oh, huge lock-up done by Smiechowski, but fortunately there was no contact between Smiechowski and Pekař. So it is still the Czech driver in the lead, but we do have another 20 long minutes to go. So there will be plenty of time for Smiechowski if he wants to try to attack. Oh, there is another huge look-up. It's the white car. This must be Franka Luka, number 191 on the left and right side of her car. It's Franka Luka racing for Lemma Racing in P5. Oh no, there was a contact! There was a contact of multiple cars. So there was some accident on the track. If I'm correct, I've seen at last 2 cars involved in a contact. So I'm gonna wait and see for the main straight, because the live timing will be refreshed and I'm going to see who is dropping down the order. Look at this great racing. This is a classic cup racing in Clio Cup Bohemia. This is how we like it. This is how it looks like usually in Clio Cup Bohemia. So if you are new here, you now see what you can expect for the rest of the 2026 season. Great group of cars in the midfield. I can also see some GMT Racing cars in this large group of cars. And it's a battle, I would say, from P13 to P20 between multiple drivers. The number 111, that is Petar Miloradovic, racing for ASK Time. He is there in P15. Oh no, there is a hard crash! This was a hard crash, the hard hit of a barrier. Who is that? It could be Dejan Robida. If I am correct, that's 888. It might be 888, and in that case it could be Dejan Robida. And I believe the safety car will be deployed on the track because there is a standing destroyed car. Right now we do have a double yellow at turn number 4. Yes, this is 888. This is 888, which means it is Dejan Robida racing for AMD Slovenia Auto. And what a shame, but this was a hard hit. Where you can see, yes, we can see the gesture from the driver. That's a good sign. There was a gesture from the driver saying that I'm okay. So it's a huge relief for us because this was a hard hit into the barrier. Whew, but fortunately there are some tires to make the impact softer. So I believe the driver will be okay, but this was a moment in this race. Safety car deployed. So there will be no more gaps between the drivers. I can see Dejan Robida leaving his car by his own. He's walking away from this crash, so it's a great news. Dejan Robida left the cockpit and he is walking away. He is standing behind the barrier at one of the marshal's posts. So good news, the driver is okay. So it's a huge relief for us after hard impact with the barriers. But the car is destroyed. There is large suspension damage to the front left and rear left of the car. So there will be plenty of things to do for the mechanics overnight if they want to have the car on the grid again tomorrow. This is a huge upset for the driver and also for the team AMD Slovenia Auto. I can see Dejan Robida sitting on the grass now. You can see him too on the left hand side of your screen, just behind the safety car board, just behind the marshal, waving the yellow flag. There is our driver Dejan Robida sitting on the grass and most likely reflecting on the last few minutes of his life, because this was a hard impact, and I can't honestly tell if there was a contact with the other car or did he just make a mistake. I'm trying to find out from the replays that are available for us. It's a strange situation actually, because Dejan Robida was there on the left side of the track and suddenly he lost the car, he spun out and crashed into barriers hardly. Maybe there was a contact with the white car alongside him, but I'm not so sure about it. There could be some problem to the car which caused the crash, so that's also an option for us. But as I said previously, the most important news is that Dejan Robida walked away by his own. He left the car and now he's sitting on the grass just next to the marshal's post. Still the safety car on the track, and this will take some time. Maybe I'm a bit surprised that we do not have also a red flag here, because it was a hard hit into the barriers and we do have a lot of debris on the track and the race is being much affected by this impact. But of course we are here to follow a schedule. There is another race after the first race of Clio Cup Bohemia. We are going to watch the final race of the day, which will be the 1-hour endurance race of the GT Cup series, which is the Central European Zone Championship. So I'm afraid that we just can't lose a time here with red flag. It's of course a problem for the organizers here on Red Bull Ring, but I believe the marshals will do the best job possible to make the track safe again. So we are behind the halfway, 12.5 minutes to go in the first race of 2026 season of the Clio Cup Bohemia. Still, Tomáš Pekař in the lead. So these are the moments of peace for Tomáš Pekař, because behind the safety car he is no longer under pressure from Julian Smiechowski. But I believe that Tomáš Pekař would be racing hardly against his opponents, because I know him for so long and I know just how much he loves racing, how much he loves tight battles on the track. This is why is he staying in Clio Cup Bohemia for so long, because he is just in love with his job of racing driver here in Clio Cup Bohemia. This is for Tomáš Pekař the most exciting racing. He loves cup racing, he loves these tight battles with his opponents, and of course he's not only the racing driver but also the team owner. Carpek Service, that's his team, and he also has the other drivers on the grid, including, for example, Reto Wist racing for him, currently in P13. Of course, Nico Wist also racing for Carpek Service alongside Filip Zivok. These two guys are in P5 and P6 respectively, behind the safety car. Also, Jakub Vondráček is racing for the team of Tomáš Pekař from Mělník. Jakub Vondráček right now in P22. Also Jan Raska in P28, and also Pavel Pajckr in P32, also racing for Carpek Service. So it's a huge team and huge commitment from the side of Tomáš Pekař for this championship. And it's great to have them on the grid, of course, because as I said many times before, Tomáš Pekař is just ever present on the grid if we speak about Clio Cup Bohemia, and this is his hood, this is his soil, and he just loves being around. And I would say that the paddock without these orange colors just wouldn't be the same place as we've known from the years before. So it's really good to have Tomáš Pekař back in Clio Cup Bohemia, and it's great to have chance of watching his great battles against Smiechowski, Mirecki, Marszalkowski, and the rest of the grid. 10 minutes to go. Still safety car on the grid. I believe that we could have about 6 to 8 minutes of green racing before the checkered flag. Oh no, we have the red flag. So after all, it is the red flag. I was afraid that we might see a red flag after such a hard impact into the barriers, and unfortunately I was right. So it is a red flag, 9.5 minutes to go. The time is still running actually, but I can tell officially on the live timing the race has been stopped with 9 minutes and 56 seconds to go. So race has been stopped, and I believe this is because of the barriers at the inside of the fourth corner of Red Bull Ring. That's the section called Rauch, and yeah, it was really hard hit by the Clio Cup car, and I do believe that much more work is needed there to make the track safe again and ready for more racing today afternoon. So we are under red flag conditions. The 888 car of Dejan Robida will be transported back to the paddock, and the drivers will be waiting at the end of pit lane, and I still believe we will get some more green laps in the first race of the Clio Cup Bohemia here on Red Bull Ring. What a beautiful place to be, with a great view of the Austrian Alps around, with a lot of snow in the mountains still at the moment. It's still early in the April, and actually the skiing is still going on in the Austrian Alps, and will be going for much longer, because we do have a lot of snow in the Austrian mountains. And this is also very typical for a Red Bull Ring. Yes, the local racing sheeps are also watching the races. I believe we also have the racing cows in Austria, and it's, I would say, very typical view of the surroundings. It's been a busy day already here on Red Bull Ring. Just half an hour ago, we've been watching the exciting finish of the first race of 2026 season of the FIA Formula 4 Central European Zone Championship, which was really good for Jensen Motorsport and also for the Czech colors, because Theodor Borenstein won the race ahead of Max Karhan, so it was 1-2 for Czechia and also 1-2 for Jensen Motorsport, so it's also great news for the Czech fans, as the championship will be heading to the Czech Republic also this season, and twice, because we are having another rounds in Brno and also in Most, and of course I can say the same about Clio Cup Bohemia. If I take a look on 2026 calendar, we are starting this weekend here on Red Bull Ring. Next time, these cars will be racing in Croatia. In the half of May, we will be on Grobnik circuit, close to Rijeka. Then at the end of May, it will be Salzburg Ring for the third round. And the season will continue in Most in August, and also on Slovakia Ring also in August. Then Brno and the big season final, late October on Hungaroring in Hungary. So that's the calendar for 2026 campaign, and we got the news that the race will be restarted behind the safety car in less than 1 minute. So I believe that the cars are coming back on the track, out of the pit lane. Yes, the countdown is running again. We do have 9 minutes and 35 seconds to go at the moment. Yes, the safety car is leading the way again. The black Audi ahead of the orange Clio Cup car of Tomáš Pekař. And then the bunch of Polish drivers behind him. Julian Smiechowski in P2, Bartlomiej Mirecki in P3, Oskar Marszalkowski in P4. Then we do have the Swiss driver Nico Wist in 5th place at the moment. Then it is Zivok in P6, Luca Franca in P7, Matic Brescia P8, Rafael Paprota P9 and Jörg Sodnik in P10. These are the top 10 drivers at the moment, as we are waiting for the race to be restarted. So after all, I believe in at last 6 minutes of green flag flat out racing. I believe this is the last lap behind the safety car. The safety car is going slowly, waiting for the rest of the field. Here in Clio Cup Bohemia, we just follow the rules. We don't do what Michael Messi did in Abu Dhabi 2021, not waiting for the rest of the field. Just saying. This is the place where the accident happened, the crash of the Anrabida, but now it is all clear, all clean. The barriers are repaired. The vehicle is out of the track, I believe back in the paddock already, and we are getting ready for racing again. It's been confirmed. Safety car in this lap. So the drivers are getting ready for the final showdown here in the first race of 2026 season. Tomáš Pekař will be leading the way again into the first corner. That's not the best position to be after the restart, of course, because you do have a lot of cars behind you. You need to be very clear, and then you need to defend your position climbing up the hill into the third corner. So here we go again. The green flag is out and we are racing for the final 6.5 minutes here on Red Bull Ring with Tomáš Pekař in the lead. Smiechowski and Mirecki, that's the fight for the second place behind him. Those are the two cars behind the Czech driver, the blue and black and the white, and then it is Marszalkowski, the teammate of Smiechowski, in a P4. And here we go again. This is the second corner, and we are climbing up the hill into the corner number 3 here on Red Bull Ring. And Mirecki is trying to go from the outside. Nice battle for the second place between Mirecki and Smiechowski. And behind these two, it is Marszalkowski waiting for his chance and trying to find his own way ahead. He knows that the podium is close. He feels the chance to grab the podium in the first race. This will be a great battle between these 3 drivers for at last second place here on Red Bull Ring. But don't forget on Pekař, there is a decent gap between him and Smiechowski, but still things are changing quickly in Clio Cup Bohemia. We know that from the previous races, from previous seasons. Everything could happen in the last lap. And another great group of cars, Wist, Zivok and Franka, racing hardly each other for P5. So we do have a lot of on-track battles for the final laps of the race. Now it is Marszalkowski overtaking Bartlomiej Mirecki. Good job done by Marszalkowski, who is now in 3rd place. So there's been a change. And Marszalkowski now is defending hard his place. He takes the inside line into the first corner of Red Bull Ring, and he is still in P3. But now there might be a better exit for Mirecki, who desperately wants his 3rd place back. Again, climbing up into the 3rd corner of Red Bull Ring, and this will be the tight battle between Mirecki and Marszalkowski. Mirecki in the white car, trying to go round the outside into the 3rd corner. Not this time. Still Marszalkowski in 3rd place. But this is another good place for overtaking here on Red Bull Ring. The back straight going into the 4th corner. This is the place called Rauch. Now you can see why. And behind the top 4 cars, another great battle with number 46. It is Nico Wist. And he should be in a P5 at the moment, but now he's being overtaken. Great battle for the 5th place with 3.5 minutes to go in the first race of the season. Wist is there in his yellow car. And I believe it is Filip Zivok who is there in a 5th place. Meanwhile, Pekař doing a great job in the lead. And he is making the gap between him and Smiechowski larger and larger. Every lap, every sector. Tomáš Pekař right now is the fastest man on the track. 3 minutes to go on the main straight again. And this is the great battle for the 5th place in the race. So it is Franka in P4 and Smiechowski is dropping down. Yes, he is there back in P5. Filip Zivok in P6 ahead of Nico Wist, as I said previously. Matic Presha in P8. Jörg Sodnik in P9 and Rafael Paprota in P10. And another great battle. Look at this fight. This is all happening behind Tomáš Pekař, who is pretty much safe in the lead right now. There was a lockup done by Luka Franka. This could be also a good race for Luca Franca, of course, because there is a chance to take the podium finish in the first race of the season. Oh no! There's a spin! There is a spin for Luca Franca, and this is a disaster. This is a disaster for Italian racer who was there in the fight for a podium. Fortunately, he did not crash his car into the barrier, so he is able to continue and finish the race. But this is a disaster for Luca Franca. What a shame, because he was there fighting for the podium finish. But after all, it will be only disappointment for Luca Franca after the first race. But he has shown some great and strong pace in the first race, so we need to count on him also for the next races. Somebody went too far in the last corner. Most likely it was Jörg Sodnik, because he dropped down into 14th place. And we have double yellow because there was some incident on the track. We have a double yellow at turn number 10. But according to live timing, no more. But no, there is a red flag. Red flag again. So the race has been stopped for the second time for some reason. Red flag again. I can't really say what's the reason for the second red flag of the race. This is the end of the race, I'm sure of it, because we've had less than 20 seconds to go before the red flag has been shown by the marshals. But I'm just wondering what's the reason for the second red flag in the race. And I have a strong belief that, oh yes, here it is. It's the incident in the last corner of the track, so it's the corner number 10. And it was a hard contact, yeah. It was a hard contact between two cars fighting each other into the last corner of the racetrack. So look at it one more time. Oh my god, it was a roll over for the yellow car. And it's number... it was 46, I believe. Yes, Nico Wist. It was the yellow car number 46 of the Swiss driver Nico Wist who went over the roof. I believe I can see him. Yes, I can see him walking away. So this was another hard crash in the first race of the season. What's going on here in Austria? We've had two red flags in the first race of the season already after two hard impacts. And it's a huge relief for us to see the drivers walking away from these incidents. So it was Nico Wist rolling over the roof of his car. My goodness me, he's fine. That's the most important news. He is here. And it was very, very nasty crash after his fight with another driver. I'm not really sure who was the second guy in the fight. But as I said, the most important thing is that we saw Nico Wist walking away unharmed. But this was a scary moment. If I were a racer, I would say this is code brown, definitely. So it's really good news to know that Nico Wist is most likely okay. Of course, probably he goes to medical center for further checkup, but this was a nasty crash. Okay, so this was the first race, eventful first race of the Clio Cup Bohemia 2026 season, and Tomáš Pekař is the winner ahead of the 4 Polish guys, Mirecki, Marszalkowski, Smiechowski and Zivok in P5. Pretty exciting one, and we can't be more excited for more. The second race is, of course, scheduled for tomorrow.